When I'm listening to Tegan sing that last song, I mean, I'm participating, but when I think about her writing a love song, I try to think about that when I'm thinking about strangling her to death. That she has the capacity for love, and this is not. This is a brittle, prickly love song that I wrote that in no way compares to that beautiful, sweet, nice thing that you. So that's a compliment. Oh, sorry. I didn't hear it.
What's it say? This is a very distracting little device you have here. It's almost worse than a laser pointer, I have to say. Okay, I'm gonna read it and then you're gonna put it down because it's distracting me. You know you want Tegan. What do I want to do? Get naked. Okay, we'll discuss it. Okay, we'll discuss it. Number one, I think it would be a very, very strange thing if all of a sudden one of us got naked on stage. Should be very disconcerting, especially for some of the parents that are in the audience tonight. Most of all, it would be really upsetting for me to see anybody up here naked, and I'm sure that they would all rather be dead than have to see me naked. We went to the beach like 6 times on this tour, and we all had to wear bathing suits, and it's always really interesting. It's nothing like when we went to the beach in bathing suits is really different. When we went to the water slides about a year ago, and it was really. I just want to say the last time. I just want to say that the last time I saw Tegan naked was when she was leaving the womb. And I was like, put something. There's a million photos of us when we're babies. She in bathtub, and we are both naked, and we're like 7 or 8. So I think that's a lie. 7 or 8's a little old. That's what I thought too when you were telling me to take your clothes off. Anyway. Yeah, right in the microphone. You know what? Turn her mic off because it's like.
First of all, it seemed like the band attracted a very tall audience, and then I just kept feeling so sorry for myself. Like, why couldn't I have just been taller? Like, I would have given up so many things to be taller. Like, I would have been an average student if I would have been taller. Or, like, I would be totally fine if I had like I don't know, like, you know, sometimes people are really self-conscious about their ears, but I think I have great ears. I would have given up my ears to be a little bit taller. It's like this, even this much taller. So, sorry, just fact check. I just want to clarify, you would have gone around with no ears at all, or just ugly ears? Just ugly ears. Yeah, I want ears still. That's pretty dramatic, obviously. But so anyways, the point I guess I'm trying to make is that I was standing in the audience and I kept, well, like Jason, our drummer, was with us, and he's very tall. You're 6'2" or 6'4". Tall. Manly, right? Like, he's just a man. He's just like at the concert being a man, you know? And he's not thinking to himself, geez, I wish I was taller, or this shit about the ear thing. Like, he doesn't even think about that. You probably think about other things. Yeah, but I just kept thinking, fuck, I wish I was tall. Anyways, the point of this is that there were all these people around me who were having so much fun, and I just thought to myself, they never think to themselves, God, it's really cramped in here, or geez, I'm hot, or... Well, I was standing in front of a guy, or standing behind a guy the size of Jasper's size, so let me just give you some context here for this one. You look like a monster next to Tegan. It's hard.
I'm really drawn to families that are super connected. Like I always get really excited when I meet siblings that have
closeness.
Yeah, close, like super tight-knit relationships, because I think for a lot of siblings, you see each other on the major holidays, and maybe you check in between every once in a while, and that just isn't how we roll. And I don't know that it necessarily is about being twins as much as it is about just like having a really, really intimate relationship, we were the only kids and we spent a lot of time together, and now to have music as a common connector between the two of us, you know, I don't know if it's as much about being twins as it is just about having so much in common and being really similar. And I'm really drawn to people who have that with their families. Like,
Although we don't
find it
have,
comforting.
We don't have any identical twin friends.
No.
Because twins are weird, and there's
So
something.
one's enough.
Well,
No, but
it's strange. Like, I mean, it's
Identical
weird.
twin, that's like almost pushing it to me. It's like there should only really be one set of identicals in a room at any time. It's just, it's not
Is there any
right.
identical twins here today?
Is this a bad time to mention my brother?
Do you have an identical twin?
No, not.
Oh.
No.
But
I saw one hand go up. Were
I
you just
like
messing around, or are you guys actually identical twins back there?
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
that's fine. You
fine.
can stay.
Yeah, no. It's when, especially if you get, and then if you really pushing the limits, if you get like 3 or 4 sets of identical twins in a room, it's sort of like a weird prism effect, and it's just, it's not right for people. But you know, I'm fine with fraternal twins. I'm dating a fraternal twin, and I am, you know, like I feel like I'm like generally drawn to people who come from twins or close. Like another one of my close friends is a fraternal twin, and you know, I don't even think of them as twins. I really just think of them as like very close, attractive siblings, and yeah, it's weird. It's like I think it's really neat, but identicals, you don't want to push the limits in the room, you know?
Too many twins.
Yeah, just chemically and genetically, it's not right.
I don't think I could have hoped for a better answer to that question.
I got scared though when you said, "Do we bunk together?" Like as if we still have like share a communal family bed or something. And I was like,
I did get recently.
"The hell? We're
I got,
32."
really worked over at the Canadian border coming home from Los Angeles a couple months ago, and it was like midnight, and the woman repeatedly kept asking me what I did for a living, and I was like, I'm a musician. I have a work visa, as you can see. And she was like, yeah, but what do you do? I'm like, I'm a musician. She was like, what do you do? Hadn't made eye contact with me yet. And I was like, I'm a musician. Like I started to laugh. I get nervous and I laugh. And so I was like, I'm a musician. I play music. I'm an entertainer. I'm a clown. I don't know. What's the question? She was like, looked at me. She's like, no, what do you do? I was like, okay, I'm really confused. Can you please ask that question using different words? Because I don't understand. And then she was like, what instrument do you play? I was like, well, that's completely different than what do you do. But I play guitar. I'm in a band with my twin sister. And she was like, where is she? I was like, she's at home where she lives. Well, why is she not with you? I was like, because we're not touring right now. She lives in a different city. I live here. She lives in Montreal and New York. She was like, well, I'm having a difficult time understanding why she's not with you right now. I was like, really?
Yeah, I'd get along with this lady.
Yeah, you guys would be like best friends. She probably called you. She was like, will you please ask Tegan and Sara why they don't bunk together? Anyway, I said, well, there's this funny thing. Like, people imagine twins live together and, like, never
Like share
part ways,
organs
but we don't. And she was just like, she's like, I'm really not understanding what you're telling me. And I was just like, lady, send me to secondary or let me through. Like, this is getting weird. It's like midnight. And
You know that she has always imagined herself with an imaginary twin, you know?
Yeah.
Like, her name is Janelle, and she's always imagined Jackie, and she's just like, Jackie and I, we would both work at immigration, and she would work the day shift, I would work the night shift, and we would bunk together, and then we've taken it so far that now you just are like, wow, I hate myself. I wish I hadn't asked this question.
Private meanings of my tattoos. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to tell you. But I'm going to tell you one story. But when my grandmother passed away, like six years ago now, and she was, it's weird, it's like an awkward transition because I'm like really funny and then not so funny. Christian, I can hear you laughing. So by the way, I'm going to hold that against you forever because you're laughing. My grandma died, you asshole. Stop laughing, you're still laughing. What's wrong with you? I was kidding. Anyway, that's the thing between him and I. We just laugh about each other's dead loved ones. Remember when your dad died? Your dad's not dead, right? No, he's not. Okay. What the fuck? Oh yeah, tattoos. So when my grandmother passed away, she told us she didn't want to be buried. She wanted to be burned, which is a weird sentence and would be a great song title. Generally, what they say is creepy. Sorry, creepy. Anyway, so we decided that we all wanted to mourn her in a way that was more traditional, so we needed a place to go, and she did not want a tombstone, is what she said. She didn't want to imagine us all going there and like laying on the tombstone crying and whatever. So, so two things happened. We all came back after my grandmother had been cremated as a giant family. We all came back to Calgary, and we went and we spread her ashes at a really beautiful site in Calgary. And which was really weird because we all like dug in and we were like throwing the ashes and it was like blowing back at us and we were like wiping grandma all over us. It was so fucked up, but I was like, that is our family. We're all like laughing about it. We're like, yeah, Rita's all over us. Anyway, and then we planted a tree for her in a park in Calgary that we all had gone to a lot. So when I came home, I asked her, why are you still laughing? This is the sad part. Grandma's probably wherever grandmas go when they die, and she's looking down being like, Tegan is still my favorite. I'm the oldest, that's how it works. Okay, so anyway, after I got back from all of that very sad, very serious business, I had a friend of mine who is an amazing artist draw me a tattoo with a tree in it, and I said I wanted it to look kind of cartoony but kind of dark. So I got that tattooed on there, and that's what this tattoo is for. So the other thing that I was going to say that happened after my grandma died was that my grandfather ignored my grandmother's wishes, and so he agreed to allow her to be cremated, but he also had like 20 tiny tombstones made, and then sent them to sent them to all of us, like, and it had a big. I know that you guys you're like, that's really fucked up. But they had all these mini tombstones sent to all of us, and with this like crazy, really depressing message on it, and all of us we were like, thank you. Like, first of all, a bunch of us were there like in person when he presented them to us, and we're all like, thank you, Grandpa, and but everyone's like fighting back tears, of the laughter tears. Like, it was just like my grandmother's worst nightmare. It's like not one fucking tombstone, like 20 across North America. I mean, it's fucking brilliant. That's gonna be my next tattoo, is that. Seriously though, imagine that you were with your grandma and you didn't know, and you were at home in Montreal having your first alone Christmas without your mom, and then you get a really heavy present from your grandma when she opens money, and then you open it and it's a tombstone. Literally, it's a fucked up shit. That's a fucked up shit. Yeah, I get it.
Tegan just came up to me. Let me just let you into our life. Oh dear. Just let you into our world. Tegan just comes up to me after that song and she whispers, "You have something on your neck." Cool. So for the first part of the show, it's as if I knew I had it on my neck. It'll be forever rewritten in my brain as the show where I had that huge thing on my neck. I don't even know what it is, but it was on my neck. I don't know. Can you guys even see it? You couldn't even see it. You can't even see it. You can't even see it. I just could see it, and I would want you to tell me if I had whatever it was. It looked like someone came up to you with a piece of tar. Oh, good. Oh, tar on my neck. Good. That would be better than poop. Maybe it's just. Regrettably, it is pretty dark up here, so I mean, it could have been shit. I have no idea.
We were so honored to be asked to play a Pink song to honor Pink. We have been fans of you, Alicia. May I call you that? Okay. When I saw the video for Just Like a Pill, I had a few thoughts. I had a thought, this is the coolest thing I've seen ever, maybe. I need to definitely look into my sexual fantasies because you had that microphone cord around your neck, and I was like, maybe I'm not as square as my ex-girlfriends have told me I am. Gross. I realize respect.
I'm right here.
I know you are.
Alicia's husband is sitting next to her.
Yeah, I know she is. Okay, just calm down. Corey, I respect that you're here, and I recognize that you're sitting right there, but I know that you're not gay yet, but I have to say, with all seriousness, as Tegan said, we started our career being out, and it was a different time, and even though I knew that you weren't gay, I mean, you did not act gay in any of your videos, especially when there was guys driving fast cars and, whatever. I mean, you were badass, and you had total agency over your body and your sexual identity, and I really admired that. And it gave me, and I think Tegan both, strength in knowing that we could just be who we were, and that we didn't have to make any apologies for that. And also, your career has been an inspiration to us. We are a band that has now, I think, reinvented ourselves a couple of times in 14 years, and you're a big part of what inspires us to keep doing that. So seriously, thank you very much. I I have lyrics written out because I'm shaking and I love this song. I know this song, but I might turn into my mother halfway through and forget it. Okay, here we go.
This morning, I was doing interviews on the phone in one of the dressing rooms back here. I'd probably been in the room for about an hour, and then all of a sudden the toilet flushed. Nobody was in there. That's what I did. I was sitting there on the phone and I missed a question. I was like, huh. Because I was like, was somebody in there with the door open the whole time? Like, and then nothing happened.
It's one of those self-cleaning toilets that flushes itself every hour.
Well, do you know that?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I was standing there and I kept thinking, a ghost is in there. I didn't even believe in ghosts, but I was like, at any second, a ghost is going to come flying out. And then I did 2 more interviews and then I had to go to the bathroom. Yeah. Exactly, I was terrified. So I went into the bathroom, I kind of like turned the light on and I looked around and the shower door was kind of open, but it's like all, you know, like it's clouded, like you can't see into the shower. And I was like, don't be a jerk, just go to the bathroom. But I was like, so I look in the shower, there's nothing there. I mean, if it was a ghost, I wouldn't see it, obviously, so. So I sat down and went to the bathroom and stood up, and the toilet's automatic, so it flushed. And then I ran. I don't know why. There's no good reason for it, but I ran. I slammed into the door and quickly opened it, and then I continued on my interviews, so. No, I didn't wash my hands. I went running back to the couch and sat back down, and then the phone rang and I stared. I never put my back to the bathroom door at any point over the next hour. So. I know, it's weird. I just wanted to share. Just sharing it with everybody. You weren't saying anything, so I thought, oh, I'll just tell them about what happened earlier today.
I hate to talk in front of this next song because it's such a serious song and I don't like to ever talk because it's like, you say something funny and then you're like, it's sort of like the person who, like the friend from high school who like tells you a story and they're laughing and then 2 seconds later they start crying hysterically and then they run to the bathroom and they won't come out. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Sort of? Like, there's this part of me that's like, sometimes when we tell jokes in front of really serious songs then we start,
which one of our songs aren't serious?
well, I just mean like this song is like serious. Like it's sort of like it's serious.
Okay, I'll wait, I'll talk in front of hell.
Yeah. No, but this one, but you can talk in front of this one, but this one always makes me feel like I'm trying to, I know I seem really sweet and helpless and vulnerable and easy and safe and non-threatening, but this next song I started wanting to think of me as like someone who would dress in all black and crawl along your lawn and hide in your bushes and stare at your basement window and cry. I love how so many people here are so dysfunctional. They're like, that's amazing, that's like a dream date. Why does anybody do that anymore? No, it's not like the old days. You remember? Just like in our parents' day where people would just crawl along the grass and hide in the bushes and watch us when they didn't even know that they were out there. You already told them no like 100 times, but they just wouldn't give up. So romantic.
That's funny though, that wasn't serious at all.
You okay? I just sucked my gum into my throat, but then I like kind of got it back out, so I didn't decide. Lesson: don't chew gum on stage. So all the YouTube videos are gonna be like me, like watching Sarah, and I'm gonna be like, Dave Grohl. Going back to that original question about like what sucks us back in. I mean, it's you. You suck us back in because we write
Such
songs.
a weird sentence.
It's the sucking thing? Whatever. You suck us back in. You suck. No. What's your favorite Tegan and Sara song?
The Con, hands down.
The Con is your favorite song ever.
That's
my favorite too.
Which is like a great song.
One of my favorites.
It's a great song of like, you know, like that would be a great example of like Tegan would send that song and she knows. that it's good. You know, she's obviously is like she's not like
The subject line when I emailed Sarah that song was "da bomb."
Yeah, she was like big hit. Yeah, big hit.
Counting my money, bought a car today. Sarah's right. If a song makes it on the record, we usually love it. As time goes by, your feelings change. A lot of our earlier work, I listen to Sarah songs and I just hear the vulnerability and the sweetness, and I really love them. And then I'm like, come to rehearsal and I'm like, let's do Proud or Heavy, and Sarah's like, absolutely not. And you know, but she's like, you know, open to doing my songs. So there's like a love for each other's earlier music that we don't necessarily have for our own. So, but we love it all. We, you know,
Mostly
we
if we see that
give you
you
guys the best of our songs.
Right. If we feel like we've given you the best thing and you seem to respond positively, it definitely stokes our egos. We have massive egos, and so we need you to constantly be just like throwing logs onto the ego fire. So this really helps when you always are asking us what our favorite songs are, because we know that you just have favorite songs and you want to know if ours are the same. It's like sort of like one of those fantasy baseball leagues or whatever. But for Tegan and I, we've never hidden behind like a band or like, you know, capes or whatever. Like we were just like, we were so geeky, like right from the get-go. It was really easy to pick on us. We were like, you know, we were like sleeping babies. It was easy, you know? We were like, dun, 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 we're here. And we thought that people would just be nice, because we're that like that. We're a little naive. And so it's really hard, but it's also made us, like I said at the beginning of this long rambling thing, if anything, when someone is like, you know, you're better than Tegan, I'm just like, shut up. I quit. That's how much I hate what you just said. Tegan is the only member. I hope you're happy. Like, now that's all you get. You're stuck with her. You're stuck with the less one. That's what you get. I always just say to people, we split everything 50-50, so I don't care if she's better or not. I still make as much money as she does. Within our viewing party, a lot of people held their bathroom inside of them for the whole thing, and then spoke about infection and just feeling upset. And I think it ruined the viewing for them, and I don't want any of you not doing it. It's not me. I don't want any of you to feel like you can't go to the bathroom. It's like a concert in the sense that if there's a song of mine that you don't think is your favorite, it's fine. And I don't even care. And it doesn't matter to me, not at all. You're dead to me. But it's fine if you want to go to the bathroom. It's not going to hurt our feelings. In fact, have fun, and don't, and we're not going to be watching you watching it. That's awkward. And we lived through the experience of watching it on the big screen with our mom and friends yesterday, and we are still in shame spiral, feeling upset about ourselves. And that's not to say that we think there's anything to be upset about, but it's confusing when you're the person gigantic up there and you ask yourself, why didn't I get braces? Why? And okay, Sarah's sliding into the self-deprecating.
That's my little piece. That's my little piece. In touch with friends on it and that sort of thing, so I'd spend a healthy amount of time. Stay in touch with friends. You're so old. I like to stay in touch with other people via email. And
I also like to read my news when I wake up in the morning.
sometimes I use my mobile telephone. My mother.
The other day I was trying to download a taxi app, and I was just like, after like 2 seconds, I was like, I don't understand! And I was like, whoa. So, I think Sarah and I have stepped into this century for sure, and we embrace like digital everything, but we're not on Facebook. I don't even have a Skype account. I haven't used iChat in almost 3 years. I feel like I'm stepping back from it a little bit. I feel like maybe it's because what we do, because there's so much going on all the time, but I feel really overwhelmed with how much communication is happening at all times. And so I've really stepped back. And we also had like a terrible experience last year where we found out someone was impersonating us and had hacked into our accounts and was emailing fans pretending to be us and had access to all our old demos and all this stuff, and I just was like, fuck the internet. Fuck all that. It's weird too, it's really dangerous. You get lazy and you think you can put everything up there, and then someone hacks your account and you're like, oh, actually I can't. So I'm like really gun shy right now, and like I look at my computer sometimes, like, I put a piece of tape over my phone, like the camera part. Like that's who I've become. I've become the person that thinks that I'm being watched while I'm on. I'm like going to like HuffingtonPost.ca and I'm like, I have a tape over it, piece of tape over in case some sort of like weird porn pops up or something. And I'm like that was horrible. I'm sorry, still said that because there's kids here. But like basically, I became really paranoid, and like my computer right now has this weird flicker, and I'm convinced every time the flicker happens that means someone signed on to my computer, and they're like,
watching what I do. And then I started watching that TV show Damages, and it's like, there's this new technology where like your cell phone, as long as it's got a battery plugged into it, whether it's on, whether you're engaged in a call or not, you can use this like thing online and you can listen to somebody like it's a microphone in your pocket. No, so I watched this on Damages and I was like, that can't be real. So I look it up. Totally real. It's actual technology that they use. If you have this technology and you're really smart and you have my phone number, you can listen to me like just like walk around and shit like in the house. It's fascinating. It's a microphone. So I hate the internet.
Okay, we do. And also our friends, we are of a generation, thankfully, that grew up without the internet, and I feel like it's happening to them too. So a lot of our friends are just popping out babies to left, right, and center. So nobody has fucking time to be on the internet. Like half of my friends I like talk, I'm like,
did you get that forward? They're like, the kids on Ellen, they're singing, they're so cool. And my friends are like, what? No, I don't, I'm busy, I have a job.
Seriously, most of my friends are like, you call it, it's just like babies crying and ambulances, and they're just like, I'm too busy, I don't even remember you. I'll talk to you in 2070. Like, see you in heaven. As early as 1999, whenever we got the internet, we had an email address. And I remember as early as the late 90s, people would write us. You know, I saw your video at 3 a.m. on, MTV, and I hate you, and I wish you were dead, and you were so horrible. And we would be like, who the hell? On this internet, which took 7 years to just email one email, it would be like, and they'd be like, wait, to see what Tegan and Sara think about my email. It's just unbelievable to me that people would do that. But they did, right from the beginning, before we ever had a fan or a record deal or anything. It felt like there was already people that are gonna tear you down.
Not often.
No, but it would happen. It would happen, and we would just be like, "Oh God, this person thinks we're." And then it was like soon after that, we were like, "Never look at that kind of shit." You just, if somebody.
Mom just forwarded me something the other day, and it said, "What people say about you is none of your business." And I think that's how we look at it. Is like those fans.
I just want to say that for this many people, you're a very civilized group. I've been sort of checking you out, watching you over the course of the last few hours. And, you know what I appreciate about Canada? It's that if we have to, if we really have to, get back to the wild, get back to our roots, we can. But we don't necessarily do it just because we can. So I just want to take this moment right now to publicly thank all of you for not peeing outdoors where I can see you. Appreciate it.
What is she gonna say? I don't know what she was gonna
We
say.
spend a lot of time touring all over the world. It is not a judgment on these people, but I'm telling you, it's sort of a thing where people, especially those with penises. It's nothing against penises. Don't think I'm hating on men. We work with some of the most amazing men who have penises. I love penises. I'm always shocked. What? You guys are so frigid. We all have one or not, but whatever. Listen. Just calm down. Just cool. Anyways, I'm sure you all have great dicks. I'm just so glad I didn't have to see any yet. I really appreciate it. I love Canada. We're a Canadian band. We're so proud. Anyways, that's that.
We always joke as musicians that sometimes it'll be like screaming, crazy, incredible crowd, but you'll find the one person who's not having a good time. And you'll focus on... Where are they? I'm not going to point them out right now. Show me. No. But you'll find it. It's like we just spent the summer on tour in America with this really awesome band. I'm sure you know them, called Fun. And they are the nicest, loveliest human beings, but they were playing in front of like 10,000 people a night, and they would come back and they would have found like the one person who was like... I was like, oh thank God I'm not alone in that. But most of you look like you're having a great time. But a few of you, just so you know, I do have eyeballs. I can see you. All right.
Oh my God, you've been told.
No, it's good. to be perfectly honest, the person who has the biggest scowl is really hot. So, like, really hot, like super fit, like really good looking. So it's fine. Keep scowling at me, girl.
I'm feeling really, I've been feeling sort of neurotic during this show, like I've been thinking a lot, because I drank a lot of Tegan's Red Bull before we came on stage, and I feel a little bit buzzed out. But I kept thinking during that last song about, like, my brain was making this weird connection between my nervousness about, why are you screaming at me? What do you need? What's happening? I know, it's so adorable how enthusiastic you are, but when you scream at me while I'm talking, it makes me feel like I'm the annoying one. It makes me feel like I want to be like, oh, sorry, go ahead. What did you say? What's that? I didn't catch the last part.
You said you're
hot! Just calm down, cool it. Sarah's bearing her soul. I'm telling you something, and then afterwards you can moan and groan and holler. I won't take up too much more of your time with this story. I only wanted to tell you that while I was thinking about how to make this more of... That person just got back from the bathroom. They were like, what? They're like, I was in the loo. What happened? I mean, are you on a drug of some sort? Is that why it's making it difficult for you to listen? They're on the drug of like they can't fucking wait to hear what this new favorite is. They're on the drug that people at Burning Man are on. They're like, I want to light everything on fire! Anyways, listen, Jesus, I mean not Jesus up above, but I mean like Jesus, listen, I'm just gonna tell you the end of the story. When I was thinking about how to make this a fan favorite, all I could think about was when I was in grade 7 and I was really unpopular when we first entered middle school, and one of the ways that my mom thought that we could become more popular was if we would participate in group activities, and the group activity that I chose to participate in was the Halloween dance that we had at my middle school. Okay, you're so close, you're so... It's so close to... It's just, you can feel it, I know you can. Oh, hold on. One more second. I went to the dance dressed as the character from that movie Scream, you know, the one that kills everybody with the weird long melty face?
That's how you thought you'd become more popular?
I thought that I would become more popular, but nobody even knew who I was. And let's be real, I was spooky, it was weird. I mean, I was a grade 7, weird, confused kid, and then I showed up dressed as God knows what. I mean, I looked like a small version of that character because I was probably about 4'1", and they were just like, somebody's weird younger brother got in here. And you shouldn't be here, son. And I don't know why, but I don't in my memory of it, Tegan is not there. So basically I was a total sniper. I mean, I was a weirdo. And that's the song? That's kind of, my brain makes the connection between this song and that moment in my life, which has haunted me. I wish I'd gone as a slut or like a cat. I wish I'd gone as something cute, you know? Yeah. Even an elf would have been better, but no. I went as the melty face character from Scream.
What are we even doing? This is so stupid.
Just play the fucking song.
Can I just tell you, and you'll enjoy this story, that me and Tegan just toured with that's rad. I've never been in front of the Mallet Cat. I can see why you guys like it. We just did a tour with... I'm more of her vocal. I can't hear her annoying voice. We just did a tour with Cyndi Lauper. Like, we did 6 shows with Cyndi Lauper, and the tour is all about is about human rights and securing rights for gay people, not just gay marriage, but you know, equality in all sort of aspects. Anyways, but the point is that we had to play this song, which we rarely play because it's usually ends up like this. And one night, Cyndi would watch all the shows. She's super rad. And the one night that I saw her watching the show, I was completely obsessed with the fact that she was watching this song. And I started the rant by saying, you know, like, oh, I love, oh, you guys are such dinks, but Anyways, I started the song by saying, like, this was always the way I would say, like, oh, we're so glad to be doing this tour, and I'm a gay lord, and I lord over other gays, and I'm happy to be gay, and I'm also happy that I have the ability to marry in Canada, and I plan on marrying and divorcing multiple times, sort of in solidarity with people who can't get married and divorced. And my first marriage was a crapshoot, and we didn't have a ceremony, and I didn't get a blender. And so we started playing the song, and I fucked up the song. Well, Tegan fucked up the song, and then I fucked up the song, and then I said, in front of like thousands of people, I was like, now I'm never gonna get this blender. And the next day, there was 2 blenders in our dressing room from Cindy. And she was like, well, it was really from her manager, let's be honest. But let's also say that it was 6 days later, not the next day. Liar. That's true, but for the story, it's important that we sort of just fast forward. No, I think it would have been better if you were like, and then at the end of the tour, yeah, she got us blenders. Basically, the point is that she got us a blender, so that's pretty rad. Every time I'm gonna make a mojito, I'm gonna be like, thank you, Cindy. Okay. I'm buried in your sun, tell me where. But do you think that it would be a good pickup line? Like if I was like, do you think it would be cool if I was like, hey girl, wanna come over to my house? Cindy Lauper bought me a blender and I'm really good at making mojitos. I'd like to marry and divorce you. What about that one? You're hot. I'd like to marry and divorce you. Just over time, sometime. Not right away. So anyway. I'm married in the sun. Wait, I'm gonna use my drama skills. Wait. Pretend Tegan is like, I'm insert a friend or a girlfriend, and I'm just like, you can drive, right? So let's do this thing, you know? And it's just kind of been that way since I was legally allowed to go get my license, but it recently has come up, a little bit more. And I think as you become an adult, like this is serious. I'm being serious now, but Tegan and I have had some success. Where we do fine. I own a house. I pay a lot of taxes in the USSR and in Canada, and I feel like I have a tremendous amount of responsibility, and I'm an adult, and even though sometimes I walk by a mirror and I see a 17-year-old, I know I'm actually a grown-ass lady, and I think sometimes I get this, like, weird deep panic where I'm like, holy shit, I don't have my driver's license. Like, I actually will have, like, a fear response sometimes to that information, which used to just sort of make me feel like a little punk. Like, I'd be like, no, I'm not license, what are you going to do about that? And now just I'm like, what are you going to do about that, you asshole?
That last song I wrote when I was 18 years old. And I'm 43 now. And it's weird because Tegan and I have this disagreement about our first 2 records because I hate them so much that I feel like we should pull them right off the market and then offer a reward to anyone, seriously, who will help us wipe the internet clean of all images before 2009. Too much?
Sarah has an irrational aversion
I probably am,
to anything that has a 19 in it. So like 1999, 1998. Like
I basically hated 1990 to 1999.
Yeah. And I understand. I mean, any of you could understand, like if you went somewhere, like let's say you had a crush on somebody, but when you arrived there was like a screen and they projected images from your, puberty, pretty much just, and then like let's say you were like a really good poet when you were a teenager, except that now you're an adult, you're like, that wasn't actually good, but your parents arrive at the date and they're like, we know you guys are on a date. What? There's a date involved? Yeah, I said you're with somebody that you have a crush on. Okay, we'll back up.
But this is like a junior high, like let's just be real, this is not junior high, let's just use a real life analogy. Me, I hate everything I did when I was 18 years old. I don't have to be on a date and my mom doesn't have to come and I wasn't
Really? I know, but I didn't want to have to point this out, but I wasn't talking about you. I was trying to come up with a real life example for the audience, so I was saying, imagine that you're on a date. In a weird way, we're on a date, so this is the...
What kind of dates do you go on? I thought the point of dates was eating and having sexual relations.
That's what I'm talking about. So your mom will be there. That's crazy. Never mind. Poetry. No. You don't even understand. You weren't even listening. You were like, la la la. Oh, I'm going to interrupt and get confused. But just play the next song, which you love.
I do. But see, we'll see. Like, I really love everything from So Jealous. No, if it was you, it's alright. It's not bad.
I'm like the real life example. Tegan's sort of like, she's more like Guns N' Roses. She sort of has like a bulletproof ego, and I present the real life. They're just like that section.
I don't have any Guns N' Roses mentee people. That's what I'm saying. You're the cool version, and I'm the one that's like, you know, I have cramps or whatever. It's like, where's my fucking pyro? You know? See, that's confusing to me. That didn't work. It is really hot up here now. We'll see. Don't worry, the professional part of the set is coming. We're being professional. This curtain is obscuring. I want to challenge you. I'm giving you a dare / challenge. To try not to criticize yourself for the next 3 songs. Just try to try to let that flame of passion and excitement and Proud. Remember Proud? You wrote that song. Let your confidence run wild in this next song. You know what? I was confident. No, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I feel like I'm in therapy. I hate that person. That person wore purple Fuller fleece. And you know what? Fuller fleece is comfortable and it's sensible. So just play the song with some confidence and see if it feels different. Just try. See what happens. Like Tom Cruise from Magnolia is going to come out with a headset. It's like a convention. We're going to have a break. People are going to have sex later at the hotel conference center, and it's starting to get weird. Just try it. It feels good. What feels good? To feel proud of who you are and what you've accomplished in your life. I just said I hated those bitches that wrote Underfeet Like Ours and Business of Art. Most people are allowed to hate their early selves. Usually they have bonfires and burn things with their new relationships. They're like, I hated, that girlfriend and my hair, let's burn it all. And I hate it still. I still have to do that all the time. Exactly, so you need to embrace it. Do you see where we're going here? Embrace it. Play this with passion and proud. Guys, who's saying proud? Do 2 words banned from the stage. No, 2 words banned from the stage. Proud. And then no. I wonder what it would sound like if Kesha sang proud. Now you're on the right track. Maybe you just need someone drunk and high and just laughing at you. Okay. Just gonna turn a little bit.
This next one's a dance song too, but a different kind of dance song. We call it the Canadian Shuffle. What's I came up with for this one. So fans of So You Think You Can Dance, watch for this move this season. Sarah really breaks out into it in the 3rd verse, so watch that. It was very interesting this summer. We spent most of it opening for a band called Paramore in the United States. They're a great band, like a totally muscular rock band. Not literally muscular, like they're actually kind of like, like I'm little and they're little and it's fine. But anyways, when I meant more like muscular, like as in like rock. But anyways, I hate myself. I hate myself today. Okay, so here we go. Anyways, they were so great, but and their audience was so great, and for the most part, I really felt like they totally liked me and Tegan. But coincidentally, at the time when we started the Paramore tour, I went through a phase of watching movies that I really liked from the early 90s. And one of the movies that I was watching was Ghost with I love it. Anyways, I decided sort of spontaneously before we left for the Paramore tour to just sort of like switch it up and get a haircut. And I decided I was going to get Demi Moore from Ghost's haircut. And so this is where the coincidental part happens to come in. Well, we got out on the Paramore tour and we were playing, in places like Delaware, and we played in places like, St. Augustine, Florida, and like stuff like that. So like really like places, like what I'm trying to say is that they thought I was Justin Bieber / really a 12-year-old boy on tour with Tegan. And so we're like super popular in the States. A lot of times we'd come out on stage. There was big screens. There was these huge screens. And sometimes when we would walk out on stage, they would cheer so enthusiastically that I was pretty sure that they thought Justin Bieber was like,
You guys are hardly laughing.
No,
It's
no,
like
they're
you don't-
laughing. You can't hear
Oh,
because you
I
have
can't
those
hear you.
things in your ears.
Right,
They're,
right, right.
they're hysterical. Give some time for them to laugh.
Again, I'm just talking into the darkness. But anyway, so sometimes we would come up on stage, and I would feel the need to sort of acknowledge my breasts, like not like verbally, but just sort of like just accidentally like just swing my jacket so that the camera would just sort of focus in on it. Listen, trans solidarity. I'm not saying anything wrong with the trans community. I was pretty sure they thought it was Justin Bieber, and I didn't want them to F our bus up and like flip it over trying to get to me after the show. Anyways, this story is going somewhere. Hey Grandpa, my grandpa's here tonight. It's not a big deal. Anyway, sometimes during this song, this is when the Bieber fever would really hit, because it's sort of like a sexy song, and I would sort of make eye contact with a lot of people in the audience, keep in mind the
Teenagers.
The median age was about 16, so not appropriate, but it was just eye contact. It's not a big deal. And so, anyways, what is happening? No, it's good. It's so good. You know, I never.
I know you don't.
I never do
Horrible
that.
person. Horrible.
It's sorry. It's actually disorienting, and then it's weird because sometimes I won't say anything, and then you get mad at me, and this is exactly why, because you're like mom, and you have the microphone, and you're like, oh, too inappropriate. I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with what you're saying. No. I take it back.
You do take it back?
I think you should keep talking about the 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
I wasn't attracted to the 16-year-olds. There's nothing wrong with being 16.
You're not
wonderful.
actually Justin
You're beautiful.
Bieber.
You're beautiful, just like Christina Aguilera says. I'm just saying that I was trying to make intense eyes with the audience, and they just happened to be 16. If they had been 85 and it was like a snowbird conference in Florida, I would have done the same. Is what I'm saying. If it had been 85-year-olds, eye contact. 16, eye contact. You, a mixture of ages, are about to get some serious eye contact.
Besides wearing fantastic outerwear during the holidays, what else do you guys have planned? Any other family, Tegan and Sara, family traditions?
There will be, they'll be drinking, of course. We like to drink some champagne and some scotch, not generally the same night. We're a big board game, categories, anything that can lead to arguments and arguing. We like to watch Scrooged. You know that movie, you guys? Yeah? People love it in LA. They're like, yes, we know the movie. I think that's pretty much it. We have a 3-day limit, so we just spend 3 days together and then it's over and we're on to new things. We don't do presents.
No presents. That was my next question.
Our company is gift enough.
Yes. Well, I know it is
Right,
for
Sarah?
us.
Look at her face. She's just thrilled to spend more
What
time
was the
with us.
last gift you guys got each other?
I guess, we give each other birthday presents because we have the same birthday, so.
Wait, you guys are twins?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, where were we? Someone asked us, we did some stuff yesterday, I can't say what we did, but we did something yesterday, and there was some people there, and they were with us for 8 hours, and right at the end of the day, the person said, did you grow up in the same city? And I was like, you're gonna be fucking kidding me right now.
Do your homework.
Fine if we had just met, but we've been here for 8 fucking hours, really. Not even a family resemblance, like Sisters. He's like, oh yeah, they're the same. Good.
But gifts? Anything that you guys have?
Oh yeah, gifts.
Yeah, we give each other gifts. I mean, they seem like boring gifts to talk about on air. I mean, they were just little things for our birthday, but we acknowledge each other with buying each other things for sure sometimes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't buy her a helicopter, you know? I think I got her a backpack with spots on it.
You got me a really hefty gift card for e-readers, actually.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Tegan had just got an e-reader.
And I got Sarah a really, really nice bathroom bag. When I say nice, I mean an abusive amount of money.
Aren't you glad you all know?
That money's also kind of her money, though.
It was. I did debit it from her account.
Right. There you go. So you guys were saying you fly out tonight, and pretty soon you're going on tour.
I heard something about a limo. Yes. There's a limo?
Kennedy arranged a limo for you.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We're borrowing Kennedy's limo. Yeah.
But to go on, you got a tour coming up with.
Well, we're on tour with the Killers, but we've taken these few days to be here in LA for this and some promo. But now we go back and join up in New York with the Killers. Yeah.
How's that been?
They're great. They're awesome. They're super nice dudes, and Brandon's awesome. Brandon and Ronnie, we really chum around with backstage because they're
piggyback rides.
Yeah, they're the other the other two are more mysterious. You know, they sort of like leather jackets, and they just sort of come out of the bushes at night kind of thing. But
they're really nice.
They're
as well.
really nice, but they're like the rock stars. And then
there's lots of ping pong, and I kind of wish I was Brandon.
That might be the best recap of the Killers I've ever heard.
There's ping pong. They jump out of bushes.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, because you had Black Keys in the fall, and now the Killers. What else do you have planned for 2013?
I mean, who says we have more? I mean, what do you think, we're sluts?
You gonna retire or what?
We can't do our own tour?
It's funny because this is what we have done for our job for 15 years, touring and playing in front of people. And whenever something so wonderful and spontaneous like that applause happens, I always think that the audience will always be more exciting than having sex with someone. Enjoyable. I just mean sex like you're never gonna finish and then there's gonna be like 3 solid minutes of applause, like just the person. And then trust me, you think that they should stop doing it. Something wrong because we all just took a poll. People clap after having sex with us all the time. Tegan! All right, fair enough.
It's funny. When I was, do you want us to sing closer? Sir, where are you? Do you talk to anyone else in your life like that, or just me? Like, are you like, I want dinner? And you just yell like that. Chicken cordon bleu. Spaghetti. Who are you here with, sir? Who's next to you? Your wife? Is she covering her face? She's upset you're yelling at us. She's not upset. She's just giving a wave. Does he yell at you like that? Why is he yelling at us like that? Is this a different side of him? He does love Closer. Sir, generally the way that the arc of the show works is that we save Closer to the end so that everyone doesn't leave. So, you're just gonna have to wait a second. I know it's painful. If you want, we could have a vote. We could just play it and be done the show. Do you want that? Sure. That's not nice. We have feelings too. What is your name? What's your name? Oh, now you're shy. Tegan, please. 1 second. What's your name, sir? Jordan? Ma'am, please stop screaming over top of John. Whatever his name is. Okay, quiet, everyone. Sir, one more time? Your name is John. John Doe. Oh, I get it. Now you're shy. You yell at us in front of everyone, but then when it's time to tell us your real name. Is this like a free bird moment? Listen, John Doe. We're glad you're here. And the reason we're glad you're here is because there was a time in our lives where people like you, active members of an audience, they didn't come, and we wished to ourselves, we thought, this is true, hold on, it's true, this is a true story. There were times where I thought to myself, excited gentlemen like yourself didn't like a band like us. Discrimination, It was a tough time. It was sort of like the 60s, except it was the 90s. And a lot of people would say, guys like John Doe, they like wrestling, they like bands with other guys in them with flames and stuff, and they don't end up at your concerts. That's just not the way it works. Thank you, John. Please keep going. And then all of a sudden, I turned 33. And a sudden gentleman like yourself, they came to our shows, and it was touching. It was exciting. It sort of showed us, hey, the world's changing. And you're a part of it. It sort of showed us all sorts of people can like you. Ladies with a baby. That woman, best of luck, man. John Doe. Kids. A guy who went to the hockey game last night. We were the highlight of the hockey game last night. Thank you, sir. Anyways, I'm just gonna end this by saying, John, Mr. Doe, I think that you've probably found a lovely woman to marry you and you should treat her right. Because I probably would suffocate you in your sleep, but that's just me. I like to be the...
Good, huh? Yeah. This is my favorite thing that I own. I even like it more than my unicorn and my Ferrari. I don't have a driver's license, but I just like to buy fast cars and park them in my driveway. I don't even have a driveway. Don't even have that. But I have this potato shaker. I actually have a lot of them. I mentioned that I wanted one because I lost one and I got 7. So people always say their fans are the best, but Tegan and Sara fans are the best. You're like Care Bears. You guys are like Care Bears. But somehow we can't manage to get a potato shaker for ourselves. Tegan and Sara fans can get 8. That means a lot to us. I also watched an episode of Care Bears the other day. And it triggered all this really amazing stuff inside of me. All these memories from when I was a kid. And I had Sunshine Bear. And my Aunt Julie bought them for Sara and I. We were kind of like a weird, poor family, and all our family members had to help us out. Not in a bad way. I mean, my parents were young.
Those two things are true, but they're not true because of each other. Like, we were not weird because we were poor.
Right. Exactly. We were just like weird, and then we also happened to my parents were young and we were poor. My mom's sister was a lot older than her, so she would get us, my grandma and my aunt would get us things that we needed, like Care Bears. Not food, we had that, but anyway, I got yellow Sunshine Bear, and Sara got the pink one. And for Sara, that was like, I mean, we were pretty gender confused. We still are, but as kids. So basically, it was the equivalent of getting a pink Care Bear for a boy, but not the kind of boy that would want a pink Care Bear, the kind of boy that would want, like, Lionheart or Noble Heart, you know? And Sara freaked out. She flipped, and she was just telling us the story backstage. And my mom was like, I'm so embarrassed of you. You're so ungrateful. And Sara was just like, I remember. It was shocking.
It's basically like when people talk about how they have a baby, you always love it no matter how ugly it is. It's like basically like, I had a Care Bear and I was like, no, I don't love it. I don't care if it's Care Bear and I don't care if it's mine.
Yeah. And Sara and I, we would do...
I wish it was dead.
Sara and I, we would do anything. We protected each other, and we were like close. We would fight, but the quickest way to unite Sara and I is to try to divide us. And my mom, I remember her being like, you give Sara a Sunshine Bear, and then you can have Cheer Bear or whatever. It had a rainbow on it too, which I thought was funny, because I was like, But anyway, I remember, we were like 5 or something, but I remember being like, hell no. Because I'm probably more like a kid. Like, I was like, no, you can't take Sunshine Bear. Anyway, the TV show is so good, though. It just warmed my heart. Anyway, that's not what this one's about.
Anyways, that night in particular, when we sang Back in Your Head, everybody was like, it was like spring break in America. Like, it was just like, people that should not like our band, loved our band, and shirts were off, and boobs got shown, and I just was like, you know what? Game over. This is not the way that this... So then, that's usually a great thing. So we later are looking at videos on the internet, and someone sent me this video, and they're like, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and it's shot from the back of that venue. You can see me in the distance crying, playing the song on stage, and the crowd is just wild, and there's these 4, like incredibly beautiful girls, but still like just completely trashed, and like just barely wearing any clothes, and just like, I don't know, where they were supposed to be at a Chippendale stripper in front of Tegan and Sara, and they start spanking each other in time with the song, while singing the song, while looking back at the camera. I'm sure pre-integrated on the internet, and so now Sarah won't let us play it as a full band. No, it's like you just can't. You know, it's like having an alcoholic, punch bowl at a party. Do you want people to barf? Don't give them the alcoholic punch bowl because people just drink too much of it. And so if you play back in your head with the band, you're going to get hoochie spanking themselves. And that's the lesson that I've learned.
So here's the unsexual side of dating. Asexual version of date back in your head, right?
Yeah. No, it's not asexual. There's a you can be sexual and sad at the same time. I'll explain every girl I've ever dated. In therapy, so simmer down. I'm kidding, everyone I date is super happy. Okay, one.
Your place sounds nice. Yeah, it was super nice. And, I mean, it's cold. I mean, I wasn't on the deck. The only thing that the deck was being used for. Garbage. No, my bike. And smoking pot. No, I don't smoke pot. Stop it. Okay, so. I'm sorry. You're dragging the story out.
Tegan's stirring the pot.
She is stirring the pot. Thanks, Mom. So, okay, so this is what happened. Two pigeons, like a mom and a dad pigeon, decided that my bike and the tarp in which my bike was tarped up in, tarped? My bike was being protected by a tarp, and inside of that tarp, the pigeons decided it would be a good habitat for them and the potential babies that they were going to have. And I thought it was cute at first. Like every day I would get up and I would look through the door and I'd be like, "Good morning, Mr. Pigeon. Good morning, Mrs. Pigeon." And then someone told me that pigeons carry a lot of fleas and that if they get in your house, you're fucked, and you have to get like everything thrown away. And if they get like on your body, it's like having lice. And I was just like, I would get up in the morning and it became like, "Fuck you, Mr. Pigeon." Like, I would just look at them and I would be like, "I have to get rid of you, like, I'm sorry, like, why are you doing this to me? Why did you land on my balcony?" And so, eventually, I had to, like, it kills me now. It literally, I know you think this is just for, like, comic relief, but seriously, it killed me to do this. I had to open the door, I had to put clothes on, it was freezing. And then, I opened the door, and when they weren't there, I, like, swept all of the things that they carry, like, branch after branch after branch. I mean, it was so much work, it was like weeks of work, and I just like with one broom sweep, their whole world. It was like, are you crying? No, okay, I hate birds. Okay, anyways, their whole habitat was gone with like one sweep. It didn't take any effort, like I just was like, and gone, done. This is not even the worst part. This isn't even the part that breaks my heart. The worst part, we all want to know. The worst part was that I waited and watched for them to come back. Because I had to see how they were going to deal with it when they get back. You guys, I'm so serious. It was the most awful thing I've ever experienced. They like get onto the balcony and they're like, they land. And they're like,